Maybe it should be though.
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry, say it again. No. These two were done. She doesn't think this one should be here, so we just have the single.
Okay.
And, this is, yeah, that's just a, yep. They'll give it to us. You said you don't know about Mark.
I don't know
You said
about
Mark
Mark.
was
He
no.
said last night he was coming. Mark is not. He just got out of court hearing and was on the road.
As a defendant, I hope.
It's easy to represent the state of Montana, possibly.
Right. I can always hope.
Yeah, no. He sounded pretty relieved, so I don't think it was just something that was adverse to him.
Yeah. Okay, according to my watch, it is 6 o'clock, and I will now call this special board meeting of the Board of Trustees for the Easttown School District into order. And the first item on the agenda is our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for being here this evening. For the board this evening, we have this evening's agenda. Are there any questions or comments on said agenda? Okay, seeing none, then we'll move on to hear the public. This opportunity for the public to address the board on non-agenda items. If anyone from the board would like to address the board on those types of items, there's guidelines on the back of our agenda that helps to guide towards that discussion. But at this point in time, if there's anyone from the public that would like to address the board, I would invite them to do so. Okay. Then we'll move on to number 1 under new business, which is our consideration of non-resident, what's it called? Okay, thank you. Consideration of non-resident student applications new to the Easttown Public Schools. And Dan, I'll let you
Yep.
take that.
So these are a total of 35 applicants applying for admission to the district that we are recommending to be approved. These would be students that have not been enrolled with us prior, so these will be students new to the district. In your packet, I've included the breakdown of the grade level of the students that are coming in. And I did the breakdown by section at 1st through 5th grade, so you can see that we weren't pushing over our quality standards at those grades. In the middle school and high school, it's a little more challenging. I have to rely pretty heavily on admin reporting as to what those sections are. The one pinch point that I think we were all concerned about coming into this, and Stacy and I actually had a conversation about it last week when the agenda came out, is the 9th grade. We do have a pretty significant number of students coming into 9th grade, new to the district. Last fall and even this winter, I was of the mind that we were probably going to have to deny some or all of those just due to crowding. But what has changed since then is at least 8 or 9 current 8th graders going into high school have decided they're either going to Jefferson High School or Helena High School and not coming to East Helena High School. So we feel that that's gonna balance these new students coming in with the students that aren't staying with us. And the actual enrollment at 8th grade has declined from 191. I just got the numbers from Lindsay before the meeting, so I'm gonna quote them for you. We were actually at 191 last fall, and today I think we're at 175. So I had actually consulted with Trish and Paul about their schedule and their ability to accommodate the 8th grade class. And then given the number of students that have moved away throughout the year or decided they're not coming with us to 9th grade, from 8th grade to 9th grade, we feel like we can accommodate these 9 new 9th graders at the high school with the schedule that we have. And we did shift one staff member who was half-time high school, half-time middle school to be full-time high school next year to help with that. And another just side note, and this isn't a real big deal, but of the high school students coming in, 3 of them are applying for non-resident status and asking to be part-time students. So they'll, at least 2 of them are students at Helena Christian who want to enroll in our ag program and ag classes and participate in FFA. So that's all that they will, or that they're telling us right now that they want to participate in, so they're not gonna put a heavy load on the system. And the elective courses in ag are one of the areas where we do have capacity to accommodate those kids. They'll have to take care of their own transportation and everything getting here. And in order to be part of the FAA program, or FFA program, they have to be taking at least one ag course in high school as part of their schedule. So their real motivator is FFA, and so the reason for the non-resident application is to qualify and participate in that program, which is a strong program for us. So with that, we're recommending approval of these students as presented. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, does the board have any questions? Out of curiosity, Dan, of those 9th graders, or the 8th graders, excuse me, that are going to be 9th graders, that indicated that they were gonna be going to other schools, how certain are those types of commitments?
Pretty
What did you see
sure,
in the
because
past?
my impression was they didn't bother registering with us. So when that comes up when we're going through the registration process. And so, if a student, when we're doing registration, they say, well, I'm going to Jefferson High, and then the counselors get them in touch with the counselors at Jefferson High to make sure that they get enrolled in course requests in. So that's, part of that process just gets pretty telling, because they have to basically declare what their intent is. I think, and I don't have numbers for this, but I think several of them were non-resident kids anyway that are going back to their resident district for high school.
And Dan, of the 175, that includes out of district that were previously enrolled
Yes.
that we've already pre-approved?
Yep, it does. Those were all approved at last week's meeting.
And then the teacher that's shifting, is that gonna affect middle school?
A little bit, but the middle school numbers are actually gonna drop next year
Okay.
because of the 175 kids that are leaving and,
What's your
first grade?
136?
136 that are coming in to 6th grade, so they'll actually see a net decline of about 50 students in the building, so we think that that's workable.
Okay, this time I would entertain a motion then.
I'll make a motion to approve the non-resident students as presented.
Okay, I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mark Deal. Additional questions or comments from the board? Questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by saying no. Motion carries. Okay, we'll now move on to item number 2, if that student's representative, or the representative is here. Okay. You're not scheduled until 6:15, but we can go ahead and get started whenever.
Doesn't matter too much.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we'll just move on then, so,
Close that door.
Yeah.
Thank you.
just give you an idea of what'll have to go in order to go through the process correctly, make sure that the due process requirements are met. I'll have to do some reading, that's a statutory requirement, so just be patient with me if I have to do that. I'm not ignoring anything, it's just a matter of some of the Ts and the Is that we have to get taken care of. So.
Understood, sir.
Do you want the hallway door off the hook?
Trish's, yeah.
Okay, skip both.
And your name is?
Chris Hopkins.
Chris Hopkins. You mind if I call you Chris then?
That's fine.
Okay.
Not yet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got,
Yep.
we're gonna shut the video.
Not quite, just one moment and we'll get her fired up here. Thank you. Okay. Our next agenda item is the consideration of a request to enroll a non-resident applicant number 113 in accordance with District Policy 3141. As the presiding officer, I've determined that this agenda item involves a right to personal privacy that exceeds the public's right to know. We will now convene in closed session to review this matter. The board is now back in session, and the next item on the agenda is consideration of the out of resident student enrollment status for student number 197. Okay. As stated before, our next agenda item is the consideration of request to enroll the non-resident application number 197 in accordance with District Policy 3141. As the presiding officer, I've determined that this agenda item involves the right of personal privacy that exceeds the public's right to know. We'll now convene in closed session to review the matter. Is there a motion for the record?
Do we need to open the doors or not?
I don't have what it says.
Then I make a motion to deny the non-resident application 197.
Okay, we have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
And a second from Stacy. Additional questions from the board? Any questions, comments from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed by saying no, motion carries. In regard to new business, item number 4 and number 5, the consideration of the 12th grade non-resident application number 121 and the consideration of 11th grade non-resident application number 223. Both of those applications have been withdrawn and therefore are no longer available for the board's consideration. So at this point in time, I will call this meeting adjourned. Okay. So, this board has now heard from the administration of the student and the student's family in this matter. Is there a motion for the record?
I make a motion to deny the non-resident application for student 113.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Okay, a second from Mark Deal. Additional questions or comments from the board? Additional questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, then I will call the question. All those in favor of the motion to deny the enrollment application for student number 113, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed by saying no. Motion carries. Okay, and that concludes business item number 2. So, thank you. Appreciate you coming, Chris.
Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, you too as well.
Probably recess.
Yeah. We'll now be temporarily at recess until we determine whether or not our second consideration will be here at 6:45.
Do you want me to stop the recording?
Yeah.